welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do something that I've never really done properly before and strip it back and literally just sit down and put on my makeup and film a video. Literally that. I think in the past I've tried to do makeup tutorials. I use that quite lightly because they're probably won't. It's not a tutorial. Where I've tried to, get all the glossy shots, but I thought, do you know what, actually sometimes I like doing this on stories where I'm just either live or just storing, put my makeup on. And I think that kind of does what it needs to do. I'll talk through the products obviously. It's not a very exciting routine, but it's what I wear every single day. And sometimes I get like the odd question about makeup or like foundation or eye products and all the rest of it. So I thought I would just put it all on for you really. Checking I've got everything. I've kind of laid it all out next to me because I'm like, oh, this is new territory. I've done all my skincare. I've been out this morning. So the only thing that I've got on that isn't foundation, that isn't moisturiser, is this, which is the Aborian BB Cream Ginseng Korean formula, and it's called Baby Skin, and it's a makeup care face cream 5-in-1, and it's SPF 20, and it's just a really nice thing to put on in the morning. Also, excuse the traffic if there is noise. Also, my neighbours are having a music lesson at the moment. Of course they are. And they only seem to do scales, which is lovely, but if you do hear like clarinet or anything like that, it's not me, it's not Joe or Maggie. But yeah, this is really lovely. I pop this on typically after my moisturiser in the morning, just for like a nice base, a tiny bit of coverage as well. I've got quite a few little spots at the moment, like kind of hormonal, you know. So it just kind of takes away a little bit of redness if I'm going to the gym or just popping out and I don't want makeup on, but I just don't want kind of to draw more attention to them. I don't know. But yeah, this is really good. So that's what I've got on at the moment. It's probably come off now. That's how I started. The first thing I always do is just foundation. This is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation, and it's my absolute favourite. I don't really ever switch up my foundations. I've got a few that I've kind of used in the past that I really love, but this is probably my favourite. This is a teeny touch too dark for me. I used it a lot last summer and I'm just like, I'm just gonna finish the bottle now. So I tried to counteract that with a concealer that is the right colour for my skin. But this is really gorgeous. I use the shade Deauville. And it's just really lovely, and it's a really nice coverage because it's really glowy but also gives really gorgeous coverage as well without being really thick or heavy. I can kind of get away, everything's really messy, with using like one small pump of it, and I kind of, because it is a little bit dark, I try to do less and then add more if I need to. So I just kind of pop that on. I've been trying to use kind of a less kind of foundation and concealer and just build up where I need to, opposed to what I feel I've always done and just gone in like full hog and then had to take away, if that makes sense. But I always used to literally put on loads of foundation. I think when I went to school I wore like double wear, which is brilliant, but it's also, it's great coverage if you need it, but I think I was wearing it and I really didn't need to. And then obviously adding concealer and powder, and I ended up with quite a chalky face, but that was me than anything else. So yeah, I just popped that on, just one little pump. Thing is, I think I've got blemishes and imperfections, but I'm not hugely fussed about making them look like they're not there at all. Just kind of evening things out a little bit. So that's kind of enough, I think. You could obviously do more and you could really create a really flawless base, but I do like to still have, I don't know, I want my face to look like my face essentially. The concealer I've really been loving is this Laura Mercier one. This is the Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer. It's really gorgeous. This is the shade 1N. And again, I just really love this. A little bit under my eyes, not too much. And then on any kind of just bits and bobs. Got a really nice spot under my chin at the moment, which I never see, but then I'm always filming on Instagram looking up and I'm like, oh yeah, she's still there. But then I choose my foundation brush again. Could probably use a different brush, but just to kind of blend it in. Oh, so if I'm like literally covering up, that's not intentional. Under my eyes I might actually choose my finger, just because this brush is quite big. I've got smaller brushes, but I think I probably need to do a bit of a wash. I think it's just best with face products especially, it's almost easier to take away, to add more than it is to take away. So I just tend to start with little and just build if I need to. I think sometimes it's nice to leave that quite natural, just to kind of add a bit of depth and keep, I don't know, I don't like everything to look like one colour. I think faces naturally have shadows and they naturally have kind of, well, I was going to say naturally have contours, but probably more so others than this gal. Moving on to the next thing is powder. This is the powder I've been using, which is the Bare Minerals Natural Veil, and it's just original mineral veil, and these are really, really beautiful powders. They're just really light. You can layer them up, so if you need more coverage or you get oilier or like just say dewier but sweatier in certain places, you can really like top that up really nicely. But equally, it's just a really great mattifying all-rounder. I started using their foundation actually, which I prefer when I haven't got breakouts. And it was just, I was really impressed by the fact it was a powder and did such a brilliant job, because I didn't really know what to expect. I've always been quite dubious of like powder foundations, because I feel like, how good can the coverage be? But I was proved wrong. I was proved wrong. I kind of put it everywhere. I feel like T-zone is the main place, but I just kind of pop it everywhere because I tend to get a bit of a sweat on everywhere really. The next thing I use, I've actually got a new one because my last one is in such a state I didn't think I could even use it in this video, but this is the state of my other one. I can't even open it because it's got a few tiny bits and I've got cream carpet in here, so whatever I do, it always goes in the carpet and I'm always like, Joe, can you bring the vanish up? So for sake of this, I'm gonna open the fresh one. Oh, they've changed the packaging, how fun. Okay, so this is what I'm using on my cheeks, and it's the Daniel Sandler Contour Face Powder, and it's got two colours. It's got your kind of, I don't know, lighter contour and darker contour, I suppose. I've used it for ages. It's just a really, really nice kind of bronzy effect. So I just dab that in and just kind of move it along that bit of the cheek. It's just really light and it's buildable, and it's not too bronzy. IRL, it doesn't tend to look too kind of orangey or anything. It just has a really nice kind of shadow. Says the girl who doesn't really know what she's talking about. That's kind of about right. Sometimes I end up looking like I've just created, I don't know, sometimes it shows how much of a dab hand I am, because often I'm like, oh dear, what have I done? Got like a brush mark at the end of my nose. A hair. Okay, so that's kind of what I do, just to add in if it looks a tiny bit like liney. I try to blend that away a little bit. Next thing I do is blush, and this is the blush that I really love using, and it is the And Other Stories Dimple Peach Cheek and Lip Tint. Really nice, just a cream blush, which I always used to be quite unsure of because I was worried that if I'd use a cream blush it would end up taking all the other makeup with it, but I use it after I've powdered and stuff and it doesn't move anything. It's really nice. And you can also use it on your eyes, so sometimes if I'm doing like a pinky kind of eye look, I'll just save what's on my finger and bung it on my lids, but not today. Highlight wise, I really love Benefit What's Up. This is probably my favourite highlighter. It's just so glowy and dewy, and just whenever I wear it, someone's like, what highlighter have you got on? Because it's just so good at creating such beautiful kind of, I don't know, lines, glow to the face. It looks like this. It's got a little dabber on the end, like a bingo dobber, but I tend to use my fingers. And I just pop it there, and on top there. The only thing is it does require a bit of like handy work, because it can, if you don't rub it in properly, it can look very much like boom, boom. So I do, after that, just rub it in with my finger, blend it out, and again on my brow bone. And if I've got any left over, which I tend to have on my middle finger, I'll put it there, at the end of my nose. That's where people tend to put those things, I think. Gonna move on to eyes. My lips, I probably should have started with those. I popped a little bit of lip balm on because my lips are quite dry. I got a little bit of a red mark there from where they cracked. For that, I've actually got this fresh Sugar Rose Lip Balm. It's got a really subtle pink tint to it, which is really nice if you do get bits where, I don't know, you've got cracked lips and they've bled or something like that, which isn't great. This is really nice because it's really natural, but it also kind of matches your lip tone as well, so it kind of looks like you've got nothing on but kind of balances everything else out. I feel like it works best. Slightly matter lip, so maybe I shouldn't have put 2 lip balms on then. It's gonna be one of those situations where it's like, yeah, the more you put on, the drier they'll get and all the rest of it, but that's all good. In terms of eyebrows, I really like using a powder eyeshadow to fill in my brows ever so slightly. They are quite unruly. I never ever do anything to them. I don't remember the last time I plucked them. They just kind of, I mean, you can probably tell that because there's probably brow down here, but you know, me and Joe have just got a lot of brow going on. But I use this little Bobbi Brown, slightly dirty, Evening Glow eyeshadow palette, and I use Stormy Grey eyeshadow, which is, I can't even show this, it's really mucky, but it's just a really lovely chocolatey brown, but slightly greyer, so it doesn't kind of look like you've got too much eyeshadow there. And I just use the brush that comes with it as well, because it's really fine and just, it's quite precise as well. So I just fill in ever so slightly. I normally use a brow gel afterwards just to kind of add back in any like texture that I've managed to get rid of. My card just filled itself up, so apologies if there is any change here. On to brow gel. There's 2 that I really love using. The first is this one, which is the Hourglass Arch Brow Volumizing Fibre Gel. This is really nice just to kind of fill in any gaps. I mean, it adds a little bit of colour, but it's so subtle. So if you've already got quite dark brows, this is really nice at getting them into shape and just kind of grooming them a bit. So that's really lovely. The other one I love using is this one from L'Oreal, and it's the Wanted one in part of their collaboration with Isabel Marant, and it's just a really nice kind of clear mascara like gel. So it's not like fibre based or colour based, it's just really nice. I'll put it on this one at just getting the shapes. If you like brushing your brows up or anything, it's just really good at creating a bit of fluffiness and shape without, you know, them blowing away. Onto eyes, finishing off. There is one eyeshadow palette that I absolutely adore using at the moment, and that is this one. And this is just the NARS Wanted palette, and I've used it endlessly. I talk about it a lot on the blog, and it's beautiful. It looks like this, and as you can see, it's incredibly well loved, but it's the most beautiful kind of bronze, pinky toned palette. They're quite shimmery, but I'm a real shimmery eyed person. I'm definitely not someone that spares anything when it comes to wearing sparkly eyes during the day. So this is great, this is really good for me. So I just take a little eyeshadow brush, and I normally start with one of the kind of more nudes, and I just put that all over my lid. I usually start with a bit of a matte nude, which is really straightforward, and then just build up. I kind of go for a bit of a mix, so there's no real order I do this in. I just play around and just kind of work from the edges inwards, which does the job and adds a bit of sparkle in the corners. And then sometimes I just go crazy and put them all on. But no, it's really lovely palette. And it's the palette that I got that kind of gave me more confidence to use bolder shades, if that makes sense. I know people do way more in terms of like Instagram eyes and stuff like that, but this is really good. I've also, that makeup brush has seen a lot of things, so I just kind of blend it out with a clean brush. This is the Shiseido one that's just really good. So just do that, because I'm just around the house today and not doing too much. I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm going to show you one more eye product, which is this one that actually came with this brush, which is the Shiseido Aura Dew Face, Eyes, Lips Creamy product, and it's got that little gold, almost cream consistency, and I treat it like an eyeshadow. I just use any eyeshadow brush and just dab it in, and then I pop it in the corners, and it's super gold and really sparkly. So if you want something a little bit extra, this is really good. This is really nice, and again, like I said, I really love a bit of sparkle and building that up. So just pop it like that, and then that's kind of all I do for eyeshadow. I say all I do. I used about 8 different eyeshadows. That's not too modest. But the only other 2 things I use are eyeliner and mascara. And the mascara I love is this NARS one. It's the Climax one. You've probably seen it everywhere. It is really, really good. I saw so much about it last year and I've re-got it. I love it. And it's just a really lovely lengthening, fluffy mascara that kind of fills in everything but doesn't look clumpy at all, and it's just really, really, really gorgeous. So I love, love, love using that. Also love the Chanel mascaras, so if I'm not using this one, I'll absolutely be using one of theirs, which are absolutely gorgeous. And then, yeah, that kind of does the job. It doesn't require too much work either, and doesn't get clumpy, which I really appreciate. Just like that. Last but not least, I'm going to go in with the Clarins. This is the 4-colour all-in-one pen. So it's like one of those pens you got at school where you had, I think this has got about 4. It's got 2 eye colours and 3 eye colours, sorry, and 2, oh my god, can I count? This has 2 eye colours, shocking! This has 3 eye colours and 1 lip colour, and I love just the black little eyeliner in it. I'm a real fan of like a kohl line in the waterline. It's just something I've always done, and I cannot shake it. I've had a bit of a break from the liquid eyeliner flick, but I feel like this I haven't been able to shake, so just do that. Sometimes I use the lip liner as well. It's so fun. Just to line my lips and add a little bit of colour, and then I just kind of blend it out a little bit. So if I do it like that, I'll then like dab it in to kind of soften the edges a little bit so it doesn't look too kind of lined and perfect. And yeah, that's kind of everything I do. That's typically what I do on day to day for my makeup. I might add in a red lip, I might swap out the eyeshadow colours, but generally that is what I do. So I really hope you enjoyed watching this and it was kind of interesting. I hope this wasn't too annoying that I'm a bit further away, but hopefully you've been able to see everything. I'll list everything below in colours and everything I've used. Might throw in some cutaways as well if they're useful. I really hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like to see more kind of makeup based things, let me know. I'm not an expert, but I thought it'd be quite fun just because otherwise I'll end up talking to myself and I'm doing it anyway. So switch on a camera instead. But yes, I really hope you enjoyed that and I'll see you next week.